Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett. In my hands is a recent release from Yen Press. It's The White Cat's Revenge as plotted from the Dragon King's lap. Volume 1. It's a lot to get through. Definitely had to go and pay attention to make sure I got that one. So it's by Aki Kuruka is the original, or Kuruha is the original story. Sorry, it's kind of actually hard to read the font. And then Aki Yamigo is the character design. I believe those are the names. Translated by Christina and lettering by Bianca Pistillo. Alright, so this story, it's about two girls who are pulled into this fantasy land from the real world. Ruri is the main girl, and then Asahi is her friend. Asahi is like the girl who like everyone just kind of falls in love with, who's complete dipshit, and that innocent girl that kind of does the tee all the time. And gets her way and just can do no wrong, where Ruri tends to be the one that's in the right and doing the right things and always gets crapped on, and then Asahi won't leave her alone. So they get to this fantasy world. Asahi is immediately thought of being this princess, and Ruri gets railroaded in this kingdom and kicked out of the kingdom. Well, it turns out Ruri is this massive magic user. And what's really interesting about this world is how different it does the fantasy thing. Like, I'm not a big fantasy fan. You know, we've talked about that in numerous videos. I'm just really not the biggest fantasy fan. But this one kind of got me in that there was things that were just really, really different in how it presented the magic in the world. For most of the first volume is Ruri learning about the world, and thus us learning about the world. Just done really intelligently, kind of plotting things out, laying things out, getting the rules down, how things work, what the various factions are, kingdoms, and stuff like that. So it's done really well and really intelligently to kind of build everything, and we're not just like info dumped and having to like thrown in the deep end. It's a slow build, and you can see where everything's going, but it's not in a bad way at all. But it's just a really interesting way of going about it. And the way the magic works in this world is there's invisible fairies that basically do everything. So like you want water, the fairies go and make water like come down, and it might be more difficult to do depending on like how much the fairies like you. So in case of Ruri's thing is like the fairies love her. So if you wind up pissing Ruri off or you hurting her in some way, the fairies basically want revenge. And that's where the series, I think, really stands out to me in that, one, it's just an awesome concept, but the other is there's a lot of humor built around things. So, you know, there's the regular dialogue and conversations and these kind of like side comments that are made all the time. And some of those side comments are from the fairies, and holy shit, is it like disturbing things. So it's, you know, that type of thing of like, you know, she's running from somebody who's chasing her, and the fairies are just like, you know, can we disembowel him now? And she's like, no disemboweling, don't hurt this person. They're like, okay, we'll just behead him instead. And it's like, no beheading, don't kill anyone on my behalf. It's totally cool. So it's like that sort of like goofy, weird, really dark humor. And it's not done all the time, so like when it hits, it like really hits in a great comedic way. So that's what it's a fun series, and as I said, not really a fantasy fan. So for me, kind of sitting there being like, hey, I'm enjoying this, and I'm really kind of digging this from someone who's not a fantasy person, it means a lot. The whole cat thing hasn't quite come into play. It's like slowly coming into play in the story. So the title is a little bit weird right now. But I'm sure maybe the second and third volume, whatever, that will be way more sense as to what the title actually means. But I know where it's going. But it's a different fantasy take, and then with just a really solid sense of humor to it as well. So we get some of the art. I mean, each page just feels like there's so much packed in. And let's try to get some, like, the fantasy stuff going in. Yeah. So, like, this is where she finds out she has all the fairies that, like, love in her. So, yeah, like, it's a good series. I enjoyed it. The translation seems to work really well. The humor is definitely there. The pacing is really good. The actual, like, pacing of the jokes as well, the build up and kind of the dunk on them are good, and just it's a really solid introduction to this world. Like this is a different take on fantasy and magical fantasy than I think I was expecting. And well, actually, it's not even expecting. Like, as it goes in, and I realized that that's what it was. It went into a different direction than I was expecting. So yeah, like, I dig it. I really kind of dig it. If you kind of like, magic users, that sort of thing, kind of like take it as like an Alice in Wonderland with a little Cinderella mixed in with some magic, and that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this so far. So I like it. I think it's cool. I'm actually looking forward to seeing more issues of it. It got me actually to smile and laugh. I'm liking it. It's out now from Yen Press. You can go get it in the physical form. You can go get it digitally. It's all available now for you. We'll have some links beneath this video where you can go purchase. There'll be affiliate links, so we'll get a small percentage, but by doing that you support a site, but really you should go support your local comic shop. We'll have a link for that as well. You can go put in your zip code. It'll tell if a shop's near you. But, if there's none, then we got the affiliate links, but really go support the local shop first and foremost. Speaking of support, I want to thank Yen Press for hooking us up with the review copy. We appreciate it. Thanks so much for that. I'm really enjoying checking things out and diving into the world of manga. And thank you for watching. We always appreciate that as well. If you are into manga news, if you are into comics in general, check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. We're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. So until next time, keep reading those comics and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.